In the Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter is full of complaints. Vishada Yoga. Arjuna is complaining, oh, this is the problem, my relatives are on the other side, my guru is on the other side, what will I do? If I kill all of them, what is the use of this kingdom, etc., etc. So Krishna doesn't do anything. He keeps listening like a very good doctor, like a very good psychiatrist, like a very good mentor. He's sitting and listening for one entire chapter what Arjuna is pouring out. Such an important message. He started talking in the second chapter from the 11th verse. And why did he do that? Because only when the mind is ready to accept, if the pot is turned upside down, the rainwater will not enter. Only when the mind is clear of all the junk, the mind is clear of all the maladies that we have filled therein, will there be an opportunity to fill it with the right kind of wisdom, the right kind of inputs. So it was then that Krishna started from the 11th verse of the second chapter, telling Arjuna what he should be doing. Till then, he listened to him. So what is important is, if we want to begin on this path of surrender, first we have to vacate all the negativities that are there. The next is to understand the significance of the battle of Kurukshetra. Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsava. That's the way it starts. That's the first verse of the 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita. What is the meaning and what is the deep symbolism of this? The physical meaning is, yes, that was a Dharma Kshetra where the battle was fought, because so many sages had done yajnas there, and it was the blessed land that anybody who dies on that land will achieve the highest fulfillment, and hence that was the land which was selected. So Dharma Kshetra. Kurukshetra, because the Kurus, the children of the Kuru clan, had played there. So that was the physical meaning. What is the inner significance of that? The inner significance of that is that our body is also a Dharma Kshetra. When we are born absolutely noble and pure. We don't distinguish between a thief and a chief. We have the same attitude towards everybody because we are the embodiment of innocence. And that time the body is Dharma Kshetra. But as we grow and we become more and more involved in the ways of the world, we tend to make our body the Kurukshetra. The place where there is a constant strife, external and internal. But the message that Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, the Bhagavad Gita gives is that in this body, which symbolizes Kurukshetra, but is originally the Dharma Kshetra, it is only those who travel the path of Dharma will be successful. So this is the second condition which is required in our journey towards surrender, that we need to always be on the side of Dharma. The next point which is important is that the first question in the Bhagavad Gita was asked by Dhritarashtra. Right? This question of Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsava. That question was asked by Dhritarashtra. What are the children of Pandu and my children doing in Dharma Kshetra, which is Kurukshetra? So what is the symbolism of this? Who is Dhritarashtra? Swami used to say, Dhritam Rashtram iti Dhritarashtram. The one who thinks that something which belongs to others actually belongs to him is Dhritarashtra. Right? We've heard the story of Mahabharata. The names of all the people in Mahabharata are very, very symbolic. So Dhritarashtra means that he believed that it was his, which actually did not belong to him. Right? And Swami used to look at us and he said, you are all Dhritarashtras. You also think that that which actually does not belong to you is yours. What is that? His body. His body doesn't belong to you. It has been given to you for a purpose. You are supposed to be using this body for a purpose. And instead, you want to acquire it and you want to make the most of it and you want to bequeath it like Dhritarashtra wanted to do for Duryodhana and the Kaurava clan. That is the other important point, that we need to ensure that this body is used for the purpose it has been given, and we should not be Dhritarashtras. Otherwise, it is no surprise that we will beget Duryodhanas. Who are Duryodhanas? Not our children, our tendencies. In this body, the mind and the attitudes and the habits beget so many tendencies. They are all actually the 100 different negative outcomes of Dhritarashtra's bad attitude. The next point which we need, so this was the third point. The fourth point, and that in the seniority, like Yudhishthira was eligible for the throne, He should have been eligible for the Bhagavad Gita also. Why was Yudhishthira not given the Bhagavad Gita? Because Yudhishthira always had paschatapa. He played the game of dice, then regretted, oh, I made a mistake. 12 years, went to the forest and did paschatapam there. After the fighting the war, he was so sorry that everybody died. He did paschatapam there. So, he was not ready to accept things before things moved into actual action. So, he was not the right candidate to receive it. Secondly, the eligibility should be Bhima, because next in line in seniority. The problem with Bhima was that he practiced thoughtless courage. You should have courage, but you should use your buddhi. Bhakti without wisdom, wisdom without bhakti, useless. Both have to be combined. Similarly is the case with courage. So Bhima practiced thoughtless courage, and hence he was not right candidate for receiving it. But Arjuna had Purvatapa. He always used to be proactive. He used to think about the future and the consequences of what is going to happen if I indulge in a particular activity. And only after analyzing the situations, he would decide this is the way or that is the way. That is the right kind of mindset that devotees, that spiritual aspirants, that good human beings, that citizens of this world need to practice. Unfortunately, if you see in this country and all others, there is always paschatapam. There is no purvatapam. Every time a president finishes his term, he always talks about all the mistakes that he made. We need to be thinking about that much before we start indulging in actions. So, these is the fourth requirement. And then the fifth is, after all of this was told to Arjuna, then what did Arjuna say? After he showed him the Vishwavirata Sarupa, he was finally convinced that Krishna is the supreme divinity. Arjuna said, Karishye vachanam tava. I will do as you tell me. You tell me what I should do and I will do that. That's why if you see all the major paintings of the Bhagavad Gita have one particular symbolism and message. It is always Krishna pointing to the direction and Arjuna also pointing his bow and arrow in that direction. What is the message? Karma kar, do your action. And how? As I tell you to do. Both have to go together. God will give the direction, man has to follow it in action. God will not practice it for you. You have to practice it. He will always give the direction. It is our responsibility to practice that. So these are the 5 prerequisites for us to progress on the path of surrender out of the interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita.